Hello, beautiful Instagram families. We'll talk about how to actualize your New Year intentions. And the funny thing is, I actually don't believe in New Year intentions because I believe that we can set intentions and truly make that change, not only set intentions anytime. And we don't need that one big day of the year where now we are switching into another year that is anyway from a calendar that is man-made. And we can really just do it anytime we want. And it's truly about finding that resilience and that strength inside for when we set an intention and we want to make a change and we want to make a shift and follow through and just do. I'm going to do it now because every day we wake up is a new day and every moment is a new moment to create whatever it is we want. And while obviously, yes, it's beautiful to use the forces of nature, which even though this calendar is created by us humans, but yet it is a force of nature because everyone believes in it and comes together, and many people do set new intentions or working with the moon or so it's beautiful to work with that. But I really believe that we don't need that, and we can just make that transformation anytime if we so choose to. And then also what I have witnessed a lot, and what you've probably seen in yourself also, and I've experienced it with myself before, is that we set these big intentions and we want to make these big changes, and then we go about the year and we don't really follow through, and the things and the intention we set haven't really happened. And then perhaps we feel disappointed, and the next New Year's like, oh, my intentions didn't come through, and so on. And I want to share with you here on how you can really make your intentions come through, not only for the new year, but for any moment that you set your intention. So first of all, what is really needed, what I just shared before, is that resilience and that belief and that following through with whatever it is that your intention is that you want to create. So it's going to need your willpower. And very often we actually don't believe that we are worthy of our intention and of what it is that we want to create. So we subconsciously create patterns of sabotaging ourselves and sabotaging our intentions, and create stories of victimhood and drama and so on. And I have done that in my life, I can confess, to sabotage what it is that we want to create, and then to come back into that space of, oh yeah, I knew that it wasn't even going to work anyway, and so on. So in order to really bring our intentions into fruition, we must go into the root of why we sabotage ourselves sometimes, of why perhaps some intentions that you've set for yourself before haven't come through. And then explore that and explore why what you did and how you sabotaged yourself in that way. And where is it that you don't feel worthy of living this intention? And maybe something really simple. It may be something of like just changing your diet, or waking up every morning at a certain time and doing your meditation or doing exercise or whatever. And then we just don't follow through with that because we don't have that strength and belief and that willpower inside ourselves. And we can't really find that because our limited self has still too much power over us and over our mind. So it's really first exploring within ourselves what the reasons are on why we are sabotaging, and going deeply within, and also feeling all the emotions that may come up with that, where we don't feel worthy, or we don't believe we can, or we don't believe we deserve it. And so doing all of that and clearing the layers, and then moving into the reclamation of our strength, and moving into the reclamation of our trust, and into the reclamation of our purpose, and gathering that and bringing that into that one core pillar, which is our inner hara, or also our womb space, and cultivating that light within there, and allowing it to grow and to grow and to grow no matter what. And yes, sometimes we may slip, and sometimes we may go back into some of the old patterns, but that doesn't mean that we should give up. And I really feel that this is that divine masculine energy that a lot of us are actually missing in our society, of that willpower to follow our truth. And also very often I witness that in the spiritual circles, or in, the feminine embodiment work and all that, where it's all about flow, and it's all about just, surrender, which is amazing. But we do also need that willpower if you want to create something new. Perhaps eventually it's going to turn into flow and surrender when we have created an automatic mode within ourselves of doing that certain action, of living a certain way, like brushing your teeth, you just do it. But if it's something new that you've never done before and you want to bring it into your life, you will need to, at the beginning, have that strength to do it. And very honestly, for me, when I set an intention now and I want to create something in my life or bring something new into my life, it happens really fast. I just do it. I don't think about it too much, or I don't, even if my mind would maybe be like, oh, I don't feel like doing it, I don't even listen to that. I just do it, and I just follow through with doing it. And yeah, as I said before, sometimes there can be times where maybe I slip, or maybe I forget, but then also it's important not to be too hard on ourselves when we do that. And the other thing that I want to bring into how to actualize our intentions is to be realistic with your intentions. So don't create this massive intentions and then go ahead and then you don't do anything to actually bring them into fruition, and then feel really disappointed about yourself. So that's obviously not very realistic and not very fair to yourself. So create something that feels doable for you in your scope, So let's say maybe, for me, a little intention that I just recently brought anew into my life. I just like to have a mini workout in the morning, and then instantly after drink a fresh juice, because it feels really good, and it's actually really, really good for the body also. So, not to go into a tangent here of why. So anyway, I have done that, and I wanted to do it every day, and it hasn't worked for me to do it every day. So I'm like, okay, well, how about I just do it 3 times a week to start with, and that has been working well, and that feels good. So it's important to not, be so harsh on ourselves where we then have to push and we have to force, but create it in a balanced way. If you can't do it every day, or if you can't do it every second day, maybe even try once a week if it's something that it's a pattern, but have some consistency so that you can continue to show up for your intention. And every time you show up for the thing that you want to do it with love and do it with devotion. and just do it, even if you don't feel like it. Like when I created at the beginning stages of the other business that we have, Nomatica Clothing, there were so many times that I wanted to give up. There literally so many times I was like, oh, I can't do this. Maybe I'm not meant to do this. And there was just this voice inside me that was so deep that kept telling me to keep going no matter what. And even throughout that time, there was one part where my partner and I almost split up because he was maybe going to live in an ashram, and we were very in the unknown in our relationship, and I was living in the mountains in Mexico, and it took me a lot to just sit with everything that was happening in my life. And then I had this business of Nomatica, and I think like sometimes I just really didn't want to do it. I just wanted to cry, or I just wanted to just do nothing and be lazy. And again, also, if that's something, like sometimes it's okay to do that, but I think it's important not to dwell in our story. So I just stood up and I went ahead and I did my tasks that I had to do for my business. And actually every time I did that, it helped me to heal, because it gave me a little bit of purpose, and it just gave me a bit of inspiration to continue with whatever it is that I want and that I want to create and achieve. And now I feel really good. And now these things don't come up anymore for me, because our business is flowing consistently, and we have a structure there, and it feels easy and good. But it took a couple of years to actually get to that space, you know. And that's just for me with the business, but it may be for you that whatever it is that you want to create in your life, or whatever intentions there are that you want to bring more into your life to experience more self-love and more self-nurturing. Maybe you want to have certain practices that you want to bring in, so it may be faster. But at the end of the day, we have to be strong and gather our willpower to follow through. And especially in the world we are living in now, where there's so many conditions on how we should be, and what is important and what is not important, and all of that, where sometimes all the noise and all the voices and all our internalized voices also that don't feel worthy of doing and being whatever can try to pierce through. We need to find that inner pillar and anchor. That's our anchor point, and that's also our divine masculine that we can always rely on and lean into no matter what. And when we have found that anchor inside ourselves, it's going to become much easier to fulfill our intentions, and anytime, not only for New Year's, but whenever we want to do it. And then obviously sometimes we set intentions, and after a while they truly don't resonate, and we're like, oh, that's actually not what I wanted, and that's okay also. We can just let it go. And I think it's important also not to be too harsh on ourselves. And when we set an intention and it doesn't come through, and we realize that it wasn't actually what we wanted, it's okay to just let that go also. We don't need to be having to achieve it so in order to succeed. Sometimes succeeding can be to realize that that's not what you wanted. I find that's actually extremely successful, especially with all the information overload that we are living in our world right now. So anyways, beautiful ones, thank you for tuning in with me, and I'm going to post this video on my feed so you can watch the whole thing if you just popped on later. And if you are interested in diving deeper with me in any way, please just send me a little message, and I can support you in that journey of finding the inner pillar inside, of anchoring into your divine masculine, and of anchoring so that you can actually fulfill what it is that you want to bring through from a space of ease, from a space of joy, and from a space of love, rather than pushing and struggling. All right? Okay, so, and have a happy and wonderful transition and flow into the new year, everybody. Bye.